know how the shit goes. What's up, my brother? How
Oh
you been?
yeah. Oh my God, brother. So freaking happy to see you, man.
Oh God, it's been too long. It's been way too long.
Yeah. Way too long. When was the last time I saw you, man? That was
Oh
my,
shit.
my sister's birthday party, no?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
Some
right?
some good peeps. Very good peeps. Yeah, you got a great family. It was fun. That I still that lady about I can't even remember what she was saying. She was spouting all sorts of Hispanic stuff like
Oh my God, that's my
"El-
cousin.
the perro na cama, perro na cama. Ah! I was like, what?
Oh my God. Yeah, she said you can't put dogs in the bed because their defense mechanism is gonorrhea.
Oh my God. Now I've got the translation. Wonderful. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Now I know what she said. That makes it even better. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
and I saw the passion in her. That was
And I'm like, okay, yeah, no paddle nakama. Okay, I get it, my lady, I get it. I've heard of,
and
I was gonna say I've heard
she's single, by
being a
the
dog
way.
in the sheets, but you don't like that. Okay, okay, we're good. That works out. G talk. What's going on?
Uh,
What's going on down by you?
no, not much. Just work, work, work. That's it, really.
Watching the
Uh,
news. Oh fuck, Jesus Christ.
Coño.
Uh,
Uh, you, I didn't want to start like that, but when Trump is president, he is news every single day,
Every single day, man. Yeah, it's tough. It's been
on an hourly basis.
well, hourly, minutely, seriously, cowardly, whatever. I don't know, man. I've avoided the news. Like I told you, I've avoided the news. And I feel better. I it sounds like listen, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is exactly what it is, ignorance. But I think there's just when I read 10 I go in the Drudge Report. You know how I like Drudge Report. It's kind of like
Mhm.
uh, I think lately it's down the middle, but it's not even one side or the other. And I like to read the headlines because it's very basic, just really simple headlines and stuff. Some of them are in red or whatever. And I read the first 10 headlines a few days in a row, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of reading this shit. And I stopped and I just walked away. I said, fuck the news. I can't. Like,
Yeah,
it's just so, I, you know, I can't do anything about it. And it's making me feel anxious and like, helpless. So why am I ingesting this? I want to be aware, but at the same time, it's like, what the fuck?
yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's like I want to be aware also, but I read this and all the nonsense, and I swear to you, bro, is it disrupts my peace. So it's
I
like I
mean,
don't want to
seriously,
deal with it.
it's not even just disrupting peace. It's like I don't want to put words in your mouth, but for me, it's like, it makes me feel like I feel hopeless. Don't you?
Yeah, yeah, it's like okay, so this is the road, and this is the road to nothing good, nothing
Where are
positive.
we going to go from here, man? It's like, I actually like Jimmy Kimmel. It's
Yeah,
like, what?
I love Jimmy Kimmel, man. I'm an early bird now because I'm 51, so my bedtime has seriously decreased. Back in the days, my mom used to say, "Oh, you go to bed at 9."
Oh,
I'm finally listening. Like my bedtime is just about 9.
that's funny.
So I never watched Jimmy Kimmel at night, but I do watch him in the morning on YouTube. Every morning they put his monologue from the night before,
You watch it.
and
How funny is that? Even everyone's doing that. Go on. I didn't
yeah,
mean to interrupt. I read an article today about that no one's watching regular broadcast television anymore. They're watching it
yeah,
after the fact.
yeah, and I do that because in the morning, I have my routine. I get up, brush my teeth, I go make coffee. While the coffee is brewing, I'm watching the monologue from the night before. While my computer's warming up to, for work, I'm watching the monologue from the night before. Not only Jimmy Kimmel, but also Stephen Colbert. So I watch them back to back, and it's about 10, 12 minutes on average. So that's like the first half hour of my day.
And the best part is the monologue. Let's be serious, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's the best part, right? And you
Hmm.
kind of, if you don't watch the news, that's kind of the news, right? It's kind of funny news.
Hmm.
But isn't that funny? Even forget age, and you don't look a day past 35, kid. Come on, look at you.
Ah, shit. Thank you.
But in all seriousness, nah, I'm not trying to. Yeah, I mean that. But in all seriousness about what I was saying before, I feel I do the same thing. I go on YouTube. I would like to say that I probably watch more YouTube than anything else. I don't. I'm
Yeah.
not on social media anymore for the same reason I'm not reading the news. It's just it's a brain drain. It's doom scrolling. It's I feel worse when I go on there. It's like I feel like. Tell me if this makes sense to you. When you go on TikTok, is it kind of like almost like eating candy or fast food for your brain? Don't you don't feel like better. You feel like you just went through something you had to endure. Maybe I'm boomering myself, but you know what I'm saying?
No,
Like do you ever feel good when you get it off of TikTok or Facebook or something?
uh, you know, um, TikTok is, I don't participate too much
You
with
don't do it
it.
anymore? You found what you needed.
Um,
You got your girl on TikTok, and then you're like, yeah, you're like, peace out, TikTok. I'm good. I got my
yeah,
lady.
no. Well, I am considering opening like some kind of fitness page on there because I want to
Yeah,
eventually become a personal trainer. Set myself up for next year, so hopefully I don't have to do the 9 to 5 thing. Um,
go for it, man.
but on TikTok, I'd like to watch this dude that he walks around farting with the machine. I don't know if you've seen it. It is
No.
hysterical, bro. All he does is just walk, and there's some ladies walking by. He goes, and he presses a button, and it's like a perfectly. I don't know what kind of speaker he uses, but that I would like to buy that speaker. Like,
Okay, real
you know,
quick. A man walking around farting is that's the fast food for the brain. I just told you. It's like I don't.
you
You
know what?
can't feel good after that. I mean, come
Yeah, no,
on.
actually, I would say that's my candy. Because it satisfies me. It makes me happy. I laugh, and I don't laugh. I like really
Yeah.
laugh. It
Uh,
dumps in the stomach. So.
Bro, farting is great. I mean, farts. If I hear if there's a fart like a joke or something like, or even someone I have you ever? Oh God, you ready? Here we go. Have you ever heard an old man just squeak out a fart out of nowhere, just like walking by you or anything like that? Have you ever heard someone farting for real in public?
I don't think I have.
I've heard it a couple times. I've heard it like in the next aisle at a grocery store. Like I come around the I come around I come around the corner. I'm like, what the fuck? And then some old guy's like scratching his head, and he just he doesn't give a shit. Or I hear, see, I'm thinking about. It, I'm laughing. I if the news was farts or done with farts, maybe I'd feel better. But I mean, the way it is now, it's like it's like all the mess of a fart without the fun. I mean, that's what the news is for me. But real quick,
Yeah.
so let me ask you, because I meant to ask you before. So you don't really watch TikTok unless you watch a few things here and there. So are you going on YouTube most of the time?
I am on Instagram more than I'd like to admit. And my Instagram is filled with stuff from politics, mostly
Yeah,
Trump and
fast
Fox.
food bullshit. Yeah,
And it's, because I, fuck it, I guess this is how we're going to start. Um, I think I see what's going on. These guys, with the recent passing of Charlie Kirk, which, again, I did not agree with his views.
yeah.
He did not deserve what happened to him.
Nope.
And I also think he does not deserve the praise everybody's giving him.
Well, yeah, listen, this reminds me of this might sound weird and it's just us talking. But I almost think of like when like gun violence happens, people from the the right, I guess, would say, this is not a time to talk about gun violence. You know, you have to mourn the dead, whatever. And part of me is like, okay, probably not a good idea for anyone to criticize who he was and what he said a day or two after. We're now a week later. I think it's free game. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a spiritual man. I know you are, right? We believe in God and Jesus. And I'm going to say something that you could agree or disagree or not make a comment. But I don't think it's up to me or anyone other than maybe a judge or a police officer or whatever to deal with justice. You know what I mean? But even then, it shouldn't be justice where someone dies, right? And I think regardless, I don't think I know, regardless of what someone says or believes, it's not my place, your place, or anyone's place, excuse me, to take them out, right? Regardless. So I didn't agree with a lot of stuff he said either. I thought some of the stuff he said was heinous. But I understand where he's coming from. He was coming from a place of he was a political figure commenting, and sometimes he comments about a lot of stuff, and maybe he didn't know what he said, maybe he did, I don't know. But none of it, you know, well, he didn't deserve that. That's ridiculous. And for all that I know, the guy was a great father, a great husband, and that's the way he should be remembered on that. But to your point, he ain't a martyr, kid. He's not.
No,
He wasn't Martin Luther King, right? Can we
no.
stop that? Can we stop this bullshit? Like, he wasn't like, you know, JFK. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't even an elected official. Can we calm the fuck down and just, you know, think of him as a great father, a great husband, and mourn him that way. You know, all this stuff about people trying to prop him up as this martyr for justice and freedom. How much should I wait a month before I say the truth, or should I just say it now? Like, he used to debate people on stuff that was, you know, was very controversial. And it's unfortunate that the debate ended with him, because now let me make a second point, but end this one. He did not deserve to die. God should have, you know, if people thought that he needed to kind of get his, leave that to God. God's pretty good at that. The universe is pretty good at that. You know what I'm saying? But on the second point, the art of debating, just tell me if you know what he did. Do you remember, like, do you know what he used to do? He used to show up at all these college campuses and debate kids. And you know, honestly, that's pretty cool. Doesn't matter what he was believing in. I thought that was a pretty cool forum. I'm like, wow, you know, I forgot that he kind of started that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but you're not going to have that anymore. Who's going to have the balls to do that now with all, you know what I mean? There was I read somewhere a security guy that was talking to his team kept telling him, kid, you got to put up some glass, because if you don't, you're going to get shot. It's 100% chance you're going to get shot. That's what they said. Or this guy said. Supposedly, it was in a reputable newspaper, but who knows? Fake news, whatever, right? Everything's fake news. But and his team was like, nah, we're not going to put a. So I give him credit for saying that. It's kind of dumb now in hindsight, but they're like, no, we're just going to put up a tent. We're just going to show up at the campuses all over the place, and we're going to debate. You know, why put a wall in front of us? I got to give him credit for that. That's pretty badass. But unfortunately, I think that's going to die with him. Don't you think? Like, no one's going to have the balls. Look at all these fucking senators and Republicans and Democrats that running around so scared they canceled all their town halls. Everyone's running scared. Taylor Swift was going into a Chiefs game. Bro, did you see what Taylor Swift did? She came in. Do you know those room dividers that divide like rooms that they're like about 7 feet tall? They're like 7 feet tall, and they have like the things on the bottom. I'll get a picture. They had like a 10-foot one where she was being brought in through the back door of the Chiefs Stadium. It's a bulletproof thing that they were bringing with her. I'm like, oh my God, even she's afraid to go somewhere. This is insane. What are we doing? This is fucking unreal. Everyone's like I really, if there was one thing that I could rewind other than an election, it would have been this. I mean, for nothing else, to save a guy that didn't deserve this. Number one, I'll leave it there. But number two, to allow him to keep doing what he was doing, even though he wasn't saying things that I agree with. I loved the idea that he was debating people and at least getting them to have a point and take a stance. You have to give credit to that. Doesn't mean he's still Martin Luther King or JFK or anything like that. But I hope that that didn't die with him. I hope that continues. We can get back to debating again and in a safer way. I'll shut up. What do you think about that?
You know, I like the fact that he used to go to college campus and open mic. If you want to debate
Yeah.
me on this, we could debate about it in a healthy, mature way. I thought that was respectable. I would have loved an opportunity to just debate
Wouldn't
him,
you?
being that,
Right?
yes. And my subject, I mean, there's a lot of, he was very, very smart. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Yep.
Some of his comments, I don't agree with at all. He thought the civil rights movement was a mistake. He thought Martin Luther King was not a good person.
I mean,
Uh,
seriously.
like all these things that just you're, he says something to the effect of, if I'm getting on a plane and I see a black pilot, I'm automatically scared because, is he there because uh, the company needed a black employee there? And to me, I'm like, okay, you're smarter than that, bro. Okay,
Yeah.
you're being ignorant because the training and process to hire a pilot for any um, uh, commercial airline is rigorous.
Yep.
They're just not going to hire anybody. So I thought that was very cheap of him. Definitely beneath him because I think he was a pretty smart guy.
Very smart
To say
guy. Yeah.
that Michelle Obama did not have the adequate brain processing power to be in the position that she's in when she's a Harvard graduate, I
I mean,
thought that
seriously.
was, to me, it's like, okay, now you're belligerent, you're purposely insulting, and you're showing you're full of shit,
It
to be
sounds to me,
honest.
yeah, great points, by the way. There was a number of articles that listed, I ended up reading them, I shouldn't have, that they were listing about a number of things, like a long list of shit that he said that was like
Hmm.
incendiary and just really ignorant. And you made it a great point, and I don't want to make it for you. I'll make my own point that I think matches yours. That how much of this was performative, like he's trying to incite and kind of, and how much of it was he knew better. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end
Hmm.
of the day, I this is here's the thing that really gets me. We talk about I told you that I finished my book and I sent it your way, and if you ever get a chance to read more of it, I'd love to talk about it
Yeah.
more. I talk about how when we boil things down to X plus Y equals Z, meaning we're the X, we're unique energetic fingerprints, we're souls, right? In whatever body we're in, whether or not we're white, black, man, woman, whatever, we're energy, right? And when you strip away all the embellishment, we're equal. We're a collective consciousness here on Earth, meant to do good and to connect with each other.
Hmm.
Drinking some milk, I hear.
Yeah. And if the
Oh,
company that,
by the way, here,
oh my God, coño, salud. We forgot to start like that.
there
Shit.
you go.
That's what happens when we don't connect for a minute.
Salud. But here's the thing. When we look at it that way, then and you take away the embellishment and you start with what makes us not only unique but the same. I know that sounds like an oxymoron. What makes us unique is our unique frequency. Like there's no other Frankie like you on earth. There could be people that are like you, close to you. There's no other people like me. Thank God for the world. Um, but at the end of the day, what makes us the same, Frank, is that we're both souls in bodies that are trapped here. Whether or not you think this is heaven or hell, I think
Hmm.
the jury's out. I think this might be hell that we're all in, and I'm getting more convinced of it now. Long story short, um, at the end of the day, we should all know better about trying to bring other people down or start with things that are just so dumb with like brain power and all this stuff. just judge people for what they are. They're unique
Hmm.
energies, unique souls. And think of, if you believe in God or the universe or what have you, you believe in energy, right? We just proved we have energy. We're sending energy back and forth right now. And,
Hmm.
is someone doing something directly to you to inflict harm on your energy? Yes or no? That's a first judge to whether or not you should associate with that person. If it's yes, then stop associating with that person. If you think that person's evil and sure, you could go talk about them and all this stuff. I guess this is a long way of me saying Charlie Kirk was probably a really great guy to his wife, to his kids, to his close friends. He was probably a badass motherfucker and they probably loved him.
Hmm.
Well, then why didn't you show that to everyone else? You know what I mean? You didn't say that your wife had no brain power. You didn't say that, your neighbor you know, um, shouldn't have been piloting the plane. You know what I mean? In other words, if you can't say something nice, don't say something at all. You know what I mean? It's like, so if he's smart and he knows that, then chances are it was performative. Like he was trying to incite. That's
I
all
think
that's the equation I get to. I'll shut up now. Long way for me to say it, but it's like, if your value in the world was to incite people and get them to debate, I guess there's value in that. But if you should know better, then know better and then shut up. Right?
mhm.
Or am I wrong?
I think his motivation, and just follow me here for a second, is what he was selling was to acquire a certain group of people, and that group of people really admired what he was saying when he was putting down other races, other sexist, gays, trans, whatever, any other human that's not white. I said it, and it's easily provable. You
Yeah.
go back to stuff; it's easily provable. I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to put him down.
It's all
I'm
out there. Yeah, it's all out there.
yeah. So, being that he, is smart, he knows what he's talking about as far as conservatism and all of this. To insult someone's a Harvard graduate, saying that they don't have the intelligence to be in the position that they're in, and they are a graduate from one of the most prestigious schools, probably in the world, is insulting, and only a certain kind of people is going to buy that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's shameful. But however, the sitting president, that's how he got there.
Yeah,
I,
you can't be friends with everyone, so you got to pick a group and hope that you could turn them towards you and away from somebody else, right? I mean, at the end of the
yeah,
day, that's what it sounds like you're saying. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I
yeah,
just feel like it's like, go on.
no, no, and I was also thinking that I'm like, okay, you are. Uh, You're debating kids, and by the way, he got owned in Cambridge. There was a lot of videos are popping up where he debated some college students in Cambridge, and they schooled them, left them quiet, pretty much. You could Google it, YouTube it. But I was thinking, I was like, these kids are just developing. They're 18, 19 years old, just developing. If you really want to make a point, why don't you debate one of the professors that has, probably more experience than the kids and could debate you in a more structured and factual way than just opinions or feelings. That's something I was just thinking about. It's like you're debating.
It's
That's
a
like
good
me
point.
debating a bunch of 6-year-olds,
Fifth graders.
on a certain subject. Yeah, you're gonna have the upper hand because your experience exceeds there by half your years.
Until
So
you get owned by that one sixth grader. You're like, son of a bitch. He knows more about the Yankees than I do. You bitch, I could beat you up. Come here,
no,
you
but
little shit.
well, speaking of the Yankees, remember that shirt I told you about? Remember Section 203?
Yeah, yeah. Did you get one? Are you wearing? Is that what that?
Yes.
I see it. There it is. Look at that. I knew it. I saw Bleacher and I'm like, is that a Bleacher Creature thing?
It gets
Look at you.
better.
The
I
203.
don't know if you can see it. Can you see the back?
Yeah. Look at
Section
that.
203.
Look at that. We got to get
Yeah.
we got to get out there. We got to get to a game, man. Um
Yeah.
here, congrats on that. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, dude.
That's a shout out to one of our early episodes, man. That's going back to like
Yeah.
number 4 or 5.
I think it was the first one.
No, because I
No?
remember editing it. Yeah, the first one I didn't. I think I just threw it out there. um, but real quick, let me make a point. Great point. Yeah, he could debate, professors and stuff. But at the end of the day, I don't mind that he debated kids because again,
Yeah.
it gives them practice to debate. And look, I thought the format was brilliant. Whether or not he started or not, whatever, it's irrelevant. But my point is this. Imagine if he went around, and this might seem Pollyannish, or kind of like whatever, but what if he was debating about positivity? What if he was debating about, purpose and challenging these kids like, what the hell are you doing with your life?
Hmm.
You're stuck online. I'm out here going campus to campus trying to talk about family values. We could talk about family values without putting people down, right, Frank? We could talk about love. We could talk about conversation at the dinner table about holding each other up and holding each other accountable too. It's easier to say stuff to family than friends sometimes. He could have been
Hmm.
talking about that, and I'm not trying to relitigate the life of Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying that if this does happen again, where you've got people debating, and maybe it's us. Hey, maybe it's us one day. Who knows?
Hmm.
Where we're going around debating kids and stuff. But it could be about positive stuff. It could be about challenging people and trying to get them, like I talked about the X plus Y equals Z, the Y in the X plus Y. If we're the X, the Y is our purpose, our why we're here and why, what we're going to do with our lives and to bring value to the world and get to Z. Z is the totality of our experience. We've talked about that in other pods and we'll talk about that again.
Hmm.
I think there's the place that young kids need to be debated on and challenged on, not trans or race or this bullshit. That stuff is, remember I talked about fast food in the beginning of our conversation? That stuff
Hmm.
is like sugar high, fast food. Let's talk about stuff that really matters. Why are kids, half of them depressed? Why are they on medication? Why are they online for hours and hours and hours a day? And watching content that they maybe shouldn't be watching, excuse me, or just content that's not doing anything for them. Let's debate kids on that. Granted, how many would come out? I think most of the kids came out to come challenge the guy and try to own him, and became a challenge. So I get it, but at the same time, my point is this: if all we're doing is talking politics all the time, what's the fucking point? Seriously, like politics by design is a pejorative thing. It's like, I don't even know if I said that right, but it's negative. It's not, there's nothing, it's me versus you. It's like a verbal boxing match. For what?
Yeah.
You and I don't make laws. Yeah, sure. We
Hmm.
vote for people. We do that in private. We don't need to debate in public politics and stuff like that. For what? You know what I mean? Am I going to go debate religion? What the fuck are we talking about? If we're going to
Hmm.
debate people and talk in public, let's talk about some positive stuff. Let's be real. Again, it sounds Pollyannish. It sounds like I'm trying to be holier than thou. I'm not trying. I just am. I'm getting sick of this shit. I'm getting sick of the negativity. And as I say, this shit, I'm just getting sick of people. Let me stop for a second and ask you a question. This is what I noticed. Do you notice that more people, unless they completely agree with you and you completely agree with them, the opposite is they have their point of view and everyone else is wrong? Isn't that kind of how most people that don't agree with you, that's how they see the world? Like that, in other words, you and I usually agree about most stuff, but if you meet someone that doesn't agree with you on politics and religion, it's all or nothing. They're going to have their point of view and then everyone else is wrong. I feel like everyone I talk to, when they don't agree with me and other people and they have their stance, their belief is I'm right, everyone else is wrong. And I'm like, how is that even possible? You realize that's impossible. That's not even logical. You can't be right about everything and everyone else is wrong. that's just not logical. You know what I mean?
I don't know if everything will be the word to use because as you said that, I was like, I think I'm kind of like that in certain things.
Like what?
For example,
Like sports?
there, no, there's some people that say the 2020 election was stolen, and nobody
I'm
could
not
change their
talking,
mind.
but I'm not talking about individual things. Let me, okay. Let me reframe it. I think it's getting to the point where forget an individual topic. I think most people, you either completely agree with them lately or think that everything you
Sounds like a
think sucks.
narcissist that you're describing. You're
I
describing a
think I
narcissist.
think there's a lot of narcissists in my life. I'm thinking of one right now who is new to my life that I think to myself, I'm like, what an ego. It's like, I'm not trying to kiss up to your ego, kid, whoever, I'll leave a blank space who it is that I'm thinking of. I'm trying to respect you and hear what you have to say. But at the end of the day, I'm getting the feeling that everyone that has an opposing point of view from you is wrong. And by definition, that's impossible because their point of view is their point of view. They have the right to have it and they have the right to share it. And they can't all be wrong. And you're the only one that's right and your
Hmm.
people are right. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is what's causing the issue in our country, that we're starting with what we disagree with. Let's start with what we agree with. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like that, that people shouldn't be shot for words. People should, acknowledge each other's existence, their value, acknowledge families and stuff like that, and lead with love. And then say, okay, what do you think about this, this, and this? Okay, well, I think about this, and it opens up we're starting backwards. We're going,
Hmm.
we're going right to fourth down where
Hmm.
everyone's fighting for every yard. You know what I mean? Bad analogy, but it's like, can we start at like the kickoff? You know what I mean? Like, or it's like a bad analogy, but it's like we're going right to the arguments, right to I believe
Yeah,
my thing and you suck. If you don't believe what I believe, then you're wrong. Okay, do we not
yeah,
agree on
and
anything? Nothing.
funny you say that because someone came to camera on Instagram, and I thought it was smart, but definitely sad circumstances. They said, there are people celebrating this death. There are
Ridiculous.
people
Yeah.
that are happy about this and reenacting that tragedy. There are people politicizing this, and this person had a family, this person had kids, had a mother, and they're hurting, and you are making fun of this tragedy. And I'm not talking about Charlie Kirk. I'm talking about what's that dude's name? Uh,
Which one?
the guy that got choked out by that cop,
Oh,
um,
yeah. George Floyd.
George Floyd.
Yeah, there was
You see,
plenty of,
you see how
yeah,
everything I hit,
yeah,
both sides
yeah,
would have said yeah, because one side is thinking Kirk, the other side maybe thinking someone else, or even Kirk
yeah,
because it's just that recent.
yeah,
But then once the name comes up, who you associate it with, and now here comes the line.
yeah.
Suddenly, it doesn't matter that he's a father. It doesn't matter that he's a
Right.
husband, that he has a family.
He was a drug
It
addict. He was on drugs, and that's why he died.
exactly.
Oh, it
Yeah,
had nothing to do
and
with the cop. Yeah, yeah, it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
So it's and that's where we are now. How do you fix that, dude? It goes. I'll go back a little bit more because I really have to structure this. When the hell did we become so divided like this? Okay, the internet and social media may participate with this, but I think, and for what it's worth, and again, this is just my opinion, and I think once Trump got into office, the way that he won, I think it was his his punchline for his election was, "I'm going to build a great big wall to keep all these illegal immigrants out, and Mexico's going to pay for it." And I never heard a roar like that in my life.
Yeah,
And fast forward a little bit, he wins the election. Fast forward a little bit, black people are being killed continuously by cops. Nothing is being done. School shootings, nothing is being done. Like minorities are being targeted by cops, by others. Nothing is being done. The Klan people or white supremacy ran over somebody in Virginia. Trump calls them very fine people on both sides. Um, Fast forward a little bit more. Colin Kaepernick gets tired of this,
Oh, I
and he
forgot
starts
about that guy.
protesting.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
he
that guy.
starts protesting
Yeah.
that he was like, "Why am I going to stand for the anthem of a country that supports or defends black people being murdered by cops? No, I'm not going to stand up for this flag." And he will sit down. A Marine said, "Take a knee," because it shows that you are protesting for something so big. You saw the big fiasco that was, and
Yeah.
Trump, instead of Trump acknowledging the reason why Kaepernick was doing that, he said he is disrespecting the flag, he is disrespecting our troops, disrespecting our country, and everybody believed him. His fan base believed him. They didn't went to go to Kaepernick and said, "Oh, why are you doing this?" Because he said they asked him, the reporter, and he said, "No, because black people be killed by cops. Nobody's doing nothing about it. It's nobody cares in this country. Why the hell am I gonna?" He was protesting for us. Now, if just fast forward a little bit more, COVID-19 happens afterwards. And COVID-19, he said, "Oh, it's going to disappear
Yeah.
in 2 weeks. It's going to be down to 10, 1, and it's just going to disappear." All this, and oh, don't wear a mask because it makes you look weak. I'm not getting the vaccine, even though he got the vaccine. His kids got the vaccine. Everybody in Fox got the vaccine, and he was telling people, "No, don't get the vaccine." There was anti-vaxxers. There was people. They're called anti-vaxxers. No, we're not going to listen to the people that dedicated their whole entire lives
Right.
to medicine and everything. We're anti-vaxxers now, and they just believe that. And I think that was really the turning point because we knew that virus was coming. Instead of being prepared by a smart leader, and it goes to that movie. I don't know if you watched it. It says, "Don't Look Up."
I never watched
Um,
it. I never watched it.
I
I
highly
should have.
recommend it.
I should have.
To me, that was a metaphor for COVID because towards the end, the scientist was saying, and now they're firing people like me
Yeah.
because they think I'm right or left. I'm not. There is a huge comet coming to Earth, and there's COVID is coming to the states.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if at the minimum we cannot agree that a deadly virus is coming to the country is not a good fucking thing,
Yeah.
then what the hell happened to us?
Here, I don't want to discount what you said. I'm going to ask you a simple question. And it'll lead me to my next thing because sure, you said a litany of things, a long list of shit, but ready?
Yeah,
Which, which,
I went on a rant. Sorry.
no. Look, I can't say anything against that at all. And no one should, but people just bring up their own shit. Which came first, Frank, the chicken or the egg?
Coño, yo no sé.
Y-
I will have
y-
to say
Use
the
your
egg.
logic. The egg has to come first, right? I never
Yeah.
understood the question. I think the question is stupid. I'm being real. Because a
I always thought it
chicken,
was a trick question.
it is a trick question in my book. Anyone that answers it in any other way doesn't understand the way science works. No one says the original egg that produced a chicken had to come from a chicken. It could have come from something else that somehow produced a chicken. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
so the chicken or the egg. Why do I say that? Because when you say that it started with Trump, well, if Trump's the chicken, my friend, he didn't create his own egg. He was born from something. And unfortunately, that egg was laid decades
Mm.
earlier. It's
Uh,
probably when, cable news started getting more political and more not political, but more commentary.
mhm.
What the fuck is that? and then,
Sorry.
and then and then the internet doesn't help. All those chat
Mhm.
boards. I remember when I first. I'm going to boomer you, probably myself. I remember going on chat boards in the '90s and thinking to myself, this is a cesspool of garbage. This is way before Twitter. where the chat boards was just people ranting and just bitching. And at the end of the day, do you need? All
Wait a
right, yeah,
second.
I'll come over here.
Hi, babe. Oh, you want to say hi to Ja? No, say hi.
Oh, hola, hey.
He said, hola. I
So
forgot you can't hear.
she can't hear. That's right. But real quick, this kind of stuff was happening with the internet in the 90s, early 2000s. Like people were being, websites, just websites of hate and people. Again, it's just misdirected energy. And I think, and listen, I agree with you that a lot of what you said, you could direct that to Trump. A lot of my friends, though, will have a litany of things as twice as long about Obama. They say the same shit about Obama, then they go about Clinton, and then a lot of my other friends talk about George W. Bush, the son. Then, and everyone's got great. We all have lists. All these people did all this shit. Great. But you can't blame them for the hate. They're just capitalizing on it. We're the ones that are creating it, and it's the internet that started it. It's at this level, I'd like to think, not started it. This has been going on. Politics has been going around for more than when they signed the Declaration of Independence. People were fighting back then. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. But they weren't leaving like nasty posts back and forth on Twitter back in 1776. But what I'm trying to say is, I think where it turned the corner was social media 20 years ago. And it's about 20 years, my friend. 2005 was when Facebook started kind of really being a thing. And I remember getting on it for the first time. And when people started getting connected, you had a bunch of people with misdirected energy that were now able to direct their misdirected energy to others in mass. And it became something where not only could I just be a dipshit, I could share my dipshittedness with everyone else online. Yay! Instead of sitting at the corner of the street with a bullhorn being a dipshit, I could go on Twitter or wherever, at the time was Facebook or MySpace, and be a dipshit. And now everyone could be a dipshit, and we're being dipshits right now, some people might think, right? But to answer your question before, we're the ones creating the egg that these guys are being born from. So we could blame Trump, and I do quite a bit. We could blame Obama. We could blame Clinton and Bush. We could throw a rock in the air. You'll find someone guilty. Guess what? It's us. We're the ones that elect these people. We're the ones that are allowing this stuff. And like you said, cheering for a wall thing or cheering for affordable health care that'll be free for everyone, when in reality, it didn't really work out that way, right? But at the end of the day, it's us. We're the idiots that are doing this. And it's social media. It's the internet. It's the swamp that is Twitter. And no, I'm not going to call it X. X is bullshit. It's ghetto Twitter. Facebook is bullshit. TikTok is nonsense. Instagram is, we all need to take a break. It's bullshit. So I agree with you. To end my rant, it is people like Trump right now, because when you're in power, you get blamed for it. You don't just get just because you went to see the king in England and you think you're the greatest. You make mistakes too, Trump. I'm sorry. You do it, as did all your predecessors. But at the end of the day, the biggest mistake we're making is allowing these people to impact us every day and use them by what we're judging our lives for. I'll shut up now. Do you agree on that or disagree or whatever?
As soon as you said the chicken or the egg, I immediately started reflecting back, because you said the Klan's been here forever and white supremacy's been here well before
Forever,
Trump.
well before.
And that racism never ended in the States. I don't care who says what; it never ever ended. But the United States never had a president that embodied that mentality, that took it and used it for his own power.
Well, that's your opinion, Frankie. A lot of my friends think that we have plenty of times, and that's my point. I agree with you. But here's the thing. They think he's great. So I'm not going to talk to Trump, but unfortunately I got to talk to these people. So what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah,
I guess what do I do?
Well, Again, with and this is just back then, and I got through Kaepernick, COVID, whatever, and then fast forward a little bit more. It's election time again. He loses the election, and he says he won, and says that it was rigged.
Yeah.
No proof, no nothing. So it was just a mountain of lies from beginning to end that was just feeding his supporters. And I don't want to say, I know a couple of Trump supporters, and
So how would they
one of them,
hear this? If they heard this, how would you talk to them about it though? That's my point. Because we could sit here for 2 hours and talk about all the shit Trump. The Washington Post had 36,000 lies that he told. I mean, we
yeah,
could go through, take days going through
Jimmy
it, right?
Jimmy Kimmel counted 37,000.
No, it's 37,000. It's probably 40 by the time we're done. But I guess
That was in his first term. By now,
I'm
goodness
shit. Yeah, that you're
Christ.
right. That was first term. By the way, um, I don't remember. Let me add to your list. I don't remember a president being hated by the world as much as this guy. You know, when he's in England, there's protests in England. The English people are
Oh,
they're roasting him over there. They're putting
yeah,
like him and Epstein on the castle.
yeah.
They're doing a 3 hour, I think it's 3 hour program on one of the BBC or some bullshit or whatever
Mhm.
the hell their version of fucking Newsmax is over there. I don't know. The British fucking CNN. They're doing a 3 hour special about all his lies and like what we just talked about. They're just laying it
Mhm.
all out, and I'm like, well, at least they've got free press over there. Let's move to England. But here's my point. We could sit here all day and wax poetic about how much he sucks and this, that, and the other thing. Um, but how do we? The problem is not him that we can impact. The problem is the people around us. Like, how do we bridge the gap between people like us? And you're definitely like I'm more in the middle than of this nonsense. And in some cases, I'll slide right, left, back and forth on some issues. So I'm kind of pulled both ways. And I'd rather not go there because, you and I talked about that a number of times. Some issues I'm like very liberal on. Other issues I'm a lot more conservative on when it comes to more like family and stuff like that. But my point is, how do we deal with people that don't see it our way by and large? Like, we need to figure that out because if we don't, he's going to be gone soon. I've already predicted it. Whatever
I
comes next is going to be even worse. So, regardless of who it is, how do we deal with the
the
people?
there's no way around it. I'm afraid that there's no. I think
You don't
the
think we can get
poison.
better?
No, I don't think we can.
You don't think the people
There,
that love him you can talk to anymore?
they, they're
Oh,
if you if I if I show you this phone and I'm telling you this is a phone and you're telling me no, it's a lawnmower. You know what I'm saying? If
well, then
I
then
have
don't
that,
then don't talk about your phone. Talk about something else.
but yeah, we could talk about something else. But this is the subject that we're discussing, and is how do you convince someone that is like, yeah, no, you could totally grab somebody by their genitals. And yeah, and I don't care if he's Epstein, and I don't care if he shoots somebody, and I don't care if he tells all these lies. Like, I don't care what he could do anything he wants. He's still our president. I'm always gonna love him. And it's like, okay, great.
Well, can we
I hear
talk about
what you're saying.
something else?
No, I was like, let me just turn the tables real quick. If any other president, and let's just call him a Democrat, Obama, Biden, Clinton, whatever, um, did a fraction of anything that Trump did. Oh, the COVID is going to disappear like a thing. Oh, white supremacy, they're very fine people. And the countless things, you know, Fox News will orgasm every night over it.
So then that's my point. Look, why are we talking about all this shit though? That's the thing. It's like one of the things I've learned and you know what I mean?
I
Like,
think you know what?
why?
If I think because the office, the most prestigious office in the world is the office in the White House
So,
of the United States. So it requires honorability, dignity, integrity.
so
It has none of that.
you know what? So, you know, you and I could talk about that because we know where that's a safe space where we can talk about and debate. But at the end of the day, I guess what I'm trying to say is, why the fuck are we talking about this in public? Why is this allowed? Why is there not a like, hey, no politics area? Like, I don't care who you voted for. The president is not that important. I'm being real. In my life, he is not that important. He does not impact my job. He does not impact. You're like, whoa, you know, he sets policy for the country. Indirectly, and eventually it does come back down to me. I get it. There's a difference between laws and policies and how it directly impacts me on a daily basis. If I ignore the news for a month, my life is going to be much better because I'm not allowing that poison coming into my. There's other
Yeah.
ways I could figure this out. Because think about it, Frank. What can I do right now that impacts that? There's no election. It's not for another couple months if you have local elections. There's not. I mean, sure. Can I be up to date on a politician? Sure. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think what's more sad, even than what's been going on in this White House, is the fact that people don't have anything else to bring them together. That they have to talk about, you know, trans and this and that. I haven't seen someone that's trans in months. They don't live with me. I don't work with anybody. I don't see anybody. You would think that they were hanging from every other tree down Main Street. What the holy fuck? I'm like, oh, it's just a bird. It's not a trans swimmer that wants to take a medal from my daughter one day. And if I hear another person say, well, what if that trans goes into the bathroom with your daughter? What are you going to do? It's like, what if a fucking comet lands on my car? What are we talking about here? We're doing hypotheticals? Why don't you go ask a fucking Supreme Court nominee about a hypothetical? How did Amy Coney Barrett answer that? I don't talk about hypotheticals. But it's not good if I say that. Oh, yeah, you're just being a typical liberal. Funny, my liberal friends think I'm a closet conservative. Well, okay, fuck me then. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't win either way. Let me let me hold the hands of this trans guy as we go into the ladies' bathroom together and both get beat up. This is fucking great. This is poetic justice. But at the end of the day, like, do we not have something better to talk about? If your Y in the X plus Y equals Z starts and ends with the White House, either for good or for bad, in other words, you're criticizing or whatever, you don't have a life. If all you do is talk about politics constantly and social war, that's what I'm trying to get at, Frank. Like, we as a society need to get a life because we're allowing these people to dictate our lives, and they get empowered. But tell me you didn't drop that.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Very careful.
Yeah, that's a party foul. But that shit is like, we need something else to talk about. Why don't we fucking get away from our television, get away from our online, and go outside? Why don't we join a fucking book club? Like, why are we talking about this constantly? Because one of the things that I was thinking about the other day, and I'll throw this back at you. We as men, right? I'm not to make it a big man point, but we as men, we can't create life. We serve to protect, provide, and build, right? That's kind of the only thing we can really do, other than destroy and kill and take away, right? I mean, that's what we do. We're either neutralizers or we're aggressors, right? And at the end of the day, but when you get enough good men together, anything is possible. We put people on the moon. We put bridges across 2-mile gaps of land. We've built homes. Yeah, there's a long list of what men, and listen, I'm not discounting what women do. I'm only talking about men. You know, women do a tremendous number of things, right? But we as men know our place, know our role. So when we work together, everything's possible. Nothing can get in our way. So why are we so divided? Why, like, who does it benefit to divide men? Well,
Mhm.
a small group of people, because if men are divided, then they can't have the power as a collective group of men, working together, a brotherhood, not the same but alike, and working together to do good in their communities, do good for the country, and not rely on some tin pot or whatever dictator in the White House. In other words, because men are so divided, we can't unite amongst ourselves and provide for our women and be there for them. We need to be there for this fuck or the other fuck from before, the fuck before him. What I'm trying to say is, if you're a man and you start and end your day with politics, then you're not a man. You're a
Mhm.
big ass child that needs another child in the White House to dictate what you're going to hate and what you're going to love today and how you're going to act like daddy. Right? That's why they call him daddy. Because all these men around the country, whether they like him or don't, should be men and work to build bridges with other men and learn that if we hate another person because of what someone's telling us to, you have to ask yourself, this person could be an ally for me. This other man, if I could build a brotherhood, a team with this person and those 10 people and those 100 people together, we can do anything. They're dividing us. Why are we letting this fucking happen?
Mhm.
I'll shut up. 55 in. What do you think about that? I think we as men need to stop and look to each other and go, bro, I'm sorry. Let's start again. Like the bro shake. Like let's start again. Fuck politics. Fuck religion. Let's be bros again. Because when we're together, we can do anything. We could literally move mountains. That's how this country was built. Why the fuck are we settling for this bullshit? An
Yeah.
hour in, I just dropped the hammer.
Yeah. I think I told you this before in one of the previous pods. It's like like Republicans and Democrats is like mom and dad when getting a divorce and they're fighting to keep the kids and we're the
I mean,
kids.
seriously.
And we have to, they both given their point of views, trying to take the kids, but not working together to raise the kids. They want to raise them their own way, or just want the other person now, or just talk bad about each other and allowing us to choose. And in the meantime, they don't know the damage that they're doing to the kids. And that's an analogy that, as I said it out loud, the damage that they're doing to the kids. Look at the damage on the citizens in this country. Christ,
I
is
mean,
like political violence is at an all time high. Like it's just a very dangerous times, and it's because the people in power are fighting like the bad divorced couple that I don't I just don't understand. And it's like, you know what? Maybe we just need to redo the whole freaking government. It's like, you know what? There is no more Republicans or Democrats. It's going to be common sense party. Common sense. Like,
I
yeah,
mean,
everybody deserves health care. No kid should go hungry. No veteran should be homeless. So on and so forth. Things that just make human. And again, I know this sounds ridiculous, but human decency. You know, um,
but
it,
Frankie, we got to be human first. Human decency. The chicken is the decency. Humans are the eggs. We need to
mm,
lay that egg, and it's not laid. So go ahead.
yeah.
How do we do that?
Again, I just really I just don't know. It feels to me that the poison that this country has ingested gets worse by the day. Like we haven't had a good day. The last good day, Christ, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. The last good day that I can remember as a country that we
Nine
had,
12.
9/12.
Yeah.
Oh
That
one, there
uh,
was nothing like that day, and
it probably lasted about 2 months too.
yeah,
That was it.
um,
2 3 months, and then we just kind of.
yeah, it
You
lasts.
said that before that we needed
Mhm.
something like that, and but you didn't mean a tragedy. You meant an event that would bring us together, that would allow us to kind of drop. I guess that's what I'm saying without having the carnage of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but go on.
Yeah,
You've said
no,
that before.
and for example, when Kirk died, all these politicians came out, Clinton, Obama, Biden, a lot of Democrats came out, and there was like, we got to end political violence. We have to, like, this is not fair. My heart goes out to his family. They were like nights. Even Kimmel said, my heart goes out to him, and I'm praying for them. This must be very, very difficult. Trump said, and I quote, he died because of the radical left lunatics.
Again, it's
And
why are we
and
going
and
there? You know?
he went there.
No, but I
He
mean, like,
went there.
why are we giving him the platform to even? Why should
He's the
we give a
president.
shit?
He's the president, and he has the power of Congress. And now every Republican has to. They are required. Like I said before, they are required to agree with anything he says, and they don't take these guys' words and accept them as condolences. They flip it and say, "Oh, it's all your fault because you divided this country." Obama,
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
look,
Like, this just happened, and just to be freaking real, that happened what, November 10th, September 10th. September 11th came out. Everybody was talking about Kirk. Everybody forgot that it was the 24th anniversary of 9/11. Most people. Um, Trump went to a Yankee game on the 11th,
yeah,
and he
didn't
was
give a
doing his
shit.
stupid
Yeah.
uh, uh, masturbating giraffes dance. You know,
One
um,
more time in the camera.
he was masturbating the giraffes cam, or didn't know which dick to suck. I don't know, but um,
But Frank, let
that's
me
what he was
bring.
doing. And then a couple of days later, they asked him, it's like, hey, it's been a couple of days. How you holding up with Kirk? And he says, oh, I'm doing okay. And by the way, look at this. We're building the ballroom. You see all these trucks? And that's why Jimmy got shut down, because they said, and on a human level, we're all going through it just like Trump. And they played that clip. How
But
you doing with it?
do you
Yeah,
see my
sorry.
point though, Frank? Like, that's all anyone has to talk about is this clown. That's it. Like, that's the problem. We all need to get a life. We're letting this fucking guy be
Well,
our
I
lives.
and I think I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing,
You know.
but but he is saying things like this is 100% Democrats' fault, and
So
it's like, well, what happens is, well, it's the Democrats' fault. Guess what happens in the midterms next year?
well, then deal with it. Then I guess what I'm trying to say is, why should anyone care? Why should anyone care what this guy says if everyone's already saying that he doesn't tell the truth and what? I guess what I'm trying to say is, if half the country just ignored him, the other half wouldn't have anyone to talk to about it, because if you're all you're doing is talking to the same people constantly, eventually you get bored. You're going to want to
Well,
talk to someone else.
well,
Maybe you'll start stopping talking about politics and talk about life and goals.
well, because I think, sorry to interrupt, but I mean, someone that has the power to change the dynamics of your life, it is somewhat of a big deal.
Is it
Like this
though?
guy, it is. Like, for example, in a couple of months, 17 million people are going to lose their healthcare benefits.
Okay, send
Um,
send send a private letter to your congressman.
but he can't do shit. This was done by up top. He cut all these people so he could build a $200 million ballroom in the White House, and not for nothing, there's going to be a way he's going to try to run for 2028. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if there's going to be an election. That's why we got to pay attention, because the country is slowly, so far, we're losing our freedom of speech. And again, it's not that I'm trying to be too political here. I'm really trying not to. But the thing is, if we keep ignoring it, this dude's going to continue to get powered. Like, and I don't
Show
want to
me,
sound like the time.
but Frank, show
I
me a
don't.
time in the last 12 years where we have ignored it. That's my point. We need to ignore it. And we need to go to the voting booth and do what we can as citizens. If I don't, you could watch MSNBC for the next 30 days and it changes nothing other than your own life, right? My friends could watch Fox News and debate about it for the next 30 days. Nothing. My point is, if all we're doing is yelling and screaming about this shit to each other, what is it really doing other than dividing us when we really should be coming together and working together, like I said before, as men, as a brotherhood, one man helping the other, like we did after 9/11 on 9/12. And I remember vividly, like someone pulling over to help another man with their tire that was, I remember seeing that, and a guy coming out and waving at him, you're good. And then another guy pulls behind them and comes out. People were helping each other because they felt like they had the ability to do that, where the first thing out of their mouth was not politics. How do we get there without buildings falling and people getting shot in the neck? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, I hear what you're saying. For 17 million people, it's going to impact them. Guess what? It's not you or me. And it's not to say that I'm going to ignore them, but there's 350 million people in this country. So you're telling me that 350 million people are going to be directly impacted by that, where they have to talk about it and yell at each other every day and all that stuff? I understand there's awareness, there's activism, but do we have to wear it like a tattoo? And it's we talk to everyone about it. That's the only thing we lead with. We're always about this and the Democrats and the this and that. And it's like, when you ask a Democrat, how many Republicans are your friend? Oh, I know one guy. And then you ask the Republicans, how many liberals are your? Oh, are we almost done? How many? Go on.
What'd you say, babe?
Nothing. Never mind. I'll just do it when I come home. I have to go.
Okay.
You ask a conservative, how many liberal friends do you have? Oh, one. The answer should be, it doesn't matter. I have my friends, people that you know what I mean? Like, again, I know I'm being Pollyannish and whatever, but I'm starting to realize that we're all falling for the trap. It's all dividing us. Men are stronger when we all work together and we help each other, regardless of political beliefs. Who gives a shit? That doesn't define a man. What is a man in this country? If one side's saying, tell me what a woman is. Well, show me what a man is, motherfucker, without you having to say something from the Bible, without you having to say something about your party or about your platform. Show me. Men help other men and they support women and they come together. You want to show me what a man is? Be friends with men and show love and stop with this bullshit where you're demonizing them. That's being a man. Jesus would have done it that way. What would Jesus do? We started the conversation with Jesus and God. I think we did. All this religious talk, but yet you love to Jesus the fuck out of a cross. I'm not saying you. On your neck, but you think Jesus would be yelling about politics? What party was Jesus? Anybody? He wasn't independent. he was none. So why are we identifying ourselves as that? Like, it makes no sense. We got to finish up because you got to go. But I'd love to talk about this more, where how we could unite men and get them to get away from this politics bullshit and stop. Because this fucking guy is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. We can't do anything about it literally by arguing with each other. What are we trying to solve other than split our power? When we come together as men, regardless of politics or religion, we are stronger together. More men together can pull, literally and physically, or metaphorically speaking, that can move mountains. Why are we getting divided and allowing this country to be divided? There's the chicken and there's the egg. If we don't lay the egg, the chicken won't fucking be born. Let's stop with this bullshit. I've said my piece. Why don't you end it and then go with your lady?
Well, she actually bounced, so I have a little bit of time.
Does that make sense? Oh.
It does. It does make sense. And when you were saying that, all right, we're just talking. This, nobody's listening. But
no.
Was one of the best things about sports
the
is
locker room, right? The locker room atmosphere. Yeah, man.
You freaking guessed it. Oh
The
my God.
room.
And that's a modern renaissance, man.
Keep going with that, though.
'cause-
You're hitting on exactly what I'm talking.
Yeah,
what a great
because-
analogy. Go for it. Not even an analogy, but go on. The locker room. What's great about the locker room?
Yeah. It's you have a black man, you have a white man, you have a Dominican, you have a Cuban, a Mexican, a Asian dude,
A
and an
Jew, a
old white coach.
Christian. Yeah.
Yeah, like all these different people from all over the world, different languages, different beliefs, but they come together to for a common goal that we are going to work together. Right? That is the why.
That is the
Working
why.
together.
So how do we
We're gonna.
turn this whole country into a locker room without the talk? That's our goal. That should be our new thing, man. We should say we want to turn we want to get men into the locker room and be together and put aside this bullshit because like politics is what goes out in the stadium. Let's work together as a team in the locker room and there's nothing more beautiful than a group of people from different places coming together and you see that a lot and I didn't serve, but a lot of people that I know did. And they talk about,
Mhm,
you know, when they served with different people, their platoon, they became very
mhm.
close with them.
Yeah, that's their brothers.
More so the ones that they went to war and they actually were
Hmm.
enlisted in war. Um, how do we get to a point where we have that version like what I'm talking about? Like where
Yeah,
we come together like that for a joint cause.
I think it starts with respect. I
Okay.
think that's a good place to start because I see, for example, I can't remember no names, but McCaffrey, as an example, from the Niners.
Mm.
No, when he was a Panther. When he was in a Panther, I think he was like one of four white guys in the Panthers team. It was him, Thielen, and a couple of other white dudes, but it was mostly black, the Panthers. And Carolina Panthers, talking about football. In his last game, like he was hugging his teammates like that was their brothers, and I looked at it and I was like, if only the world could be this way, if only this country could be this way, that they could look at their partner, their teammates, because for what we do, you and I as individuals, we're teammates. When we started this, um, we were teammates to try to help the brokenhearted, offer a safe space for anyone to be vulnerable.
Yep.
And we did that as a team. And football, baseball, basketball, whatever it is, there's all these different backgrounds and everything. Is a brotherhood so fond and filled with respect
But that respect,
that.
Frank, and not to interrupt, is also from a joint suffering because you could you build that respect. It's kind of like building a foundation, ironically. Before you could build, you need to dig and remove. You need to take
Mm,
away. So bad
mm,
analogy, but if the suffering is the taking away, something where you could combine forces to understand that we all suffered. Now let's build from this suffering, build upwards the
mhm.
foundation, and then the rest of the building. Bad analogy, but I hope
No,
you
no,
you
I
know what I
get it
mean.
because I'm a Jets fan.
So you know suffering.
We got to start
So you know
deep
suffering.
down to get all that out to start
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah.
I get it.
It's a long way down. So Jets fans, men in the Jets world must be the tightest of motherfuckers, right?
Oh yeah, it's a very exclusive club, but
Um, but here's the thing. I guess what I'm trying to say is what you're describing is a group of men that come together for a joint cause, a pursuit that's
Mhm,
not guaranteed, where they've suffered and continue to suffer together, but rely on each other for the joint success. In other words, I cannot
mhm,
succeed unless you help, and
mhm.
you can't succeed unless I do. If we
Right.
could find that in society with enough men to come together where we don't let politics get in the way, religion, this get in the way. I don't mean my ugliness. I mean my skin, skin color. Um, but that's where men come together and men do good. And I think there's got to be a way to do that without it being buildings coming down and wars happening. Because I have a feeling, again, premonitions that in the next couple of years that might happen. And it might be something where either our boys and ladies are going overseas to somewhere or it's coming here. I really hope I'm wrong, but Are we going to wait for that to happen to bring us together? Why don't we practice and try to figure out ways? Ignore politics. Turn off the Fox News. Turn off CNN. Put the fucking newspaper down. Enough. Let's find common ground where we could talk about our suffering, maybe like what we talked about, divorce and relationships or whatever, health pains and whatever, and lead with that for men, and then find common ground, support each other. Because guess what? Politics ain't working. Religion ain't working. Race ain't working. So let's start an audible out of this bullshit and call a new play. Let's talk about, hey, let's talk about women, what women do to us. I say that jokingly. It's just us. No one is ever going to hear this. But let's build relationships with other men, regardless of who they are, based on something else other than fucking politics, religion, and race. There's got to be a way to do it, and create a locker room situation in public without the locker room talk where we can identify each other's suffering and say, yeah, man, I know how you feel. I've done it too. And work together on something. There's got to be, whether it's sports, whether it's joint, whatever, there's got to be a way to do this, because we're getting divided for a reason, to keep us divided. Because when men, imagine if all black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Muslim men all came together, 50 million men came together. How powerful would that be? They'd be quaking in their boots in Washington. Doesn't matter who's in the office. We would have the power. So why don't we take back that power and start doing something where we call the shots when it comes to our own, of course we're going to listen to our ladies, obviously we're going to, but we call the shots with what we talk about and what's important to us, not tune in to hear who we're going to be yelling at next and this bullshit. No one is understanding that we're being fed the agenda by somebody. We're not controlling it. We're, like you said earlier, like the kids, and like the divorced parents are telling us what to do, and we're fighting amongst ourselves. And it's like, we're old enough. Let's just figure it out ourselves. Why don't we as men come together about stuff we give a shit about, understand each other, support each other, and say, listen, you know what it means to be a man in 2025? A man helps another man. A man is there for another man, another brother, regardless if they know them or not, regardless if they are political or not. That's what men do. Men support each other. And in tune, they then turn around and defend their women and support their women. But at first, we need to practice on each other. This could go in a bad way. I'll leave it there. But I mean, practice like caring for each other and being supportive for each other. And I know this sounds very Hallmark and foofy and stupid, but I don't think it does. I think this is what a modern Renaissance man does. He accepts others for who they are, but lets them know who he is by how he treats them. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Why don't we identify that way? And so it could be 9/12 every fucking day. It could be the locker room everywhere we go. It could be the foxhole or the platoon, whatever, any room we're in. We can choose to do that if we want to. We just don't want to. So whatever. That's life.
Yeah. Coño, that's we need more participants.
We need more.
But like my girl says, be the change that you want to see, and leave it that. Others will follow. You gain momentum, like you said. The penny that doubles every day. After a while, we could possibly get somewhere where we, not only as men but as society, that is like, okay, we're gonna be okay. Where we care about our neighbor. Now we empathize with those that are sick and need a little bit of help.
So we got to double the penny every day. That's it. Start small. So
yeah. And look, it just doubled today. First it was you,
bro.
And
look at that.
And then you got me, and so it doubled.
Don't sell yourself short. You're a quarter, kid. I'm the penny. You're the quarter. You're the $50. Well, listen, man. I actually have to. I have to use the bathroom.
That's my line.
Let's do this again. This was fun.
Yeah, man.
I missed this.
It's been a long time coming, man. Uh, Coño, when I'm over there, I'm going to your crib. We're gonna do this in your crib.
Well, and that's great, but while you're there, we can do this again tomorrow night if you want. Let me know, or Sunday night, whatever. My schedule's free. We could just record. All we did was talk. We just talked about whatever and recorded it. I think.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually really good with that. Because tomorrow is somewhat of a very, very, not somewhat, it is a special day.
Is it
And
now?
I'm going to have a little bit of time to myself, a few hours maybe. And
Well, then let me know.
We should connect because I think what we will talk about tomorrow is going to be, I think it's going to be good.
Okay, don't say that. Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Yeah.
I want you to, because I don't want to talk politics. I want to talk about something else. So
Yes. No more. What was is 19th of September? No more politics for the rest of the month.
Okay, good. Oh, well, you might sneak in, but all right. So let's do that. So, shoot me a text. I think I don't have anything to do tomorrow, but let me know and then we'll do it. All right, man. This is fun. Take us out.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see you, man. I'm so happy to see you.
Same here, bro.
That smile.
Listen.
Your beard is getting a little bit whiter, though, but at least you got this nice and tight.
Bro. Yeah. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, for real.
We got a lot to talk about. Listen,
man, I miss that sound too.
I forgot that. I forgot about the sound effects. I was just us talking, whatever.
Yeah, that was fun.
Let's do it again, but let me hit the bathroom. I'm going to say thanks. Love you, kid. And then just send the love to the lady or the ladies. And we'll go from there.
All right, brother. Have a good night and hit you up tomorrow so we can meet.
You got it, bro.
All right, take it easy, man. Love you, bro.
See ya.